Good morning, everyone. This is Karen Hooley, and welcome to this week's Team Whooleygan live chat. Excuse me, I'm losing my voice today. I'm going to get started by just letting those of you who are watching for the first time know that you can find out everything there is to know about me at my website at karenhooley.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. This year, I am doing a series on self-education. Basically, what I'm doing is I'm going back to techniques that either I haven't used in a long time and there's a lot of new things out there about them and researching and doing a lot of things about them, or I'm going back to techniques that I haven't used in a long time and relearning them and teaching about them a little bit, or basically telling you what I'm learning. So if you're interested in an educational newsletter, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. One of the things you will get with my newsletter is 25% off all new patterns that I release. And you are the first to know about all the new things happening on karenhooley.com and all my classes and everything else. If you need a link to go directly to my website to subscribe, this is the direct subscribe link. So make sure you check that out. karenhooley.com/subscribe. And like I said, you will get a free pattern immediately when you subscribe. So make sure you check that out. If you are not watching on YouTube, you're probably watching after the fact. So make sure you check out my YouTube channel. Here's the link down here below. I go live on YouTube and then I upload these videos to the other platforms that are out there. So make sure you subscribe and you hit the thumbs up button. If you haven't hit the thumbs up button, make sure you do that. It helps with the algorithm. So I'd really appreciate it if you do that. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you might be watching on Rumble, which is where I upload these videos after the fact. This is my Rumble channel link. You can check that out as well. Rumble is actually growing faster than YouTube right now, so make sure you check out my Rumble channel. And I also use the Rumble videos to link in my blog, so you might be watching on my blog as well. The last place you can find out more about me or learn about me or follow me is on Instagram. I'm at Karen Hooley. No spaces in my name, so make sure you check that out as well. So I'm going to head over to the chat room because I see there's been some comments. So I'm going to just jump in and see who's here. So Linda is here, and so is Daisy May. Yay! I'm so excited you guys are here. And don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. I'm glad you mentioned that. Laura's here. Good morning, Laura. It's good to see you. You got to heat up some coffee. I'm kind of in that mode today too. I have a lot of coffee going right now. So, and then there is Teresa. Good morning, Teresa. It's good to see you. I'm glad you're here. And let's see who else. Stephanie's here. Good morning. And Renee is here. Good morning. I'm so glad you guys are here. And Laura says, the one reason I love the For Dummies books is there's always something to learn. Yes, there's always something to learn. I've been crocheting since I was 7 years old, and that is 48 years now. So, yeah, 48 years now. But I don't know everything. I mean, I learned from a grandmother who didn't speak English, and so I learned everything rote. Basically she showed me, I did it. She would move my hands, she would rip things out, and she'd make me do it again. And and then she couldn't read an English pattern, so I learned it all in Italian. And when I would buy a pattern, or she would buy a pattern for me, we would literally reverse engineer it with a magnifying glass and figure it out from the pictures. So I'm self-taught with, reading patterns and writing patterns and all that stuff, and understanding it all in English. So there's always more to learn. And there's all these new techniques coming up. In fact, I mentioned at the beginning that I'm doing the self-learning kind of year. And I just got a message today from one of my readers in my newsletters trying to discover from me what I consider mosaic crochet, because that's my first topic this year is mosaic crochet. And I just finished the piece the last of the piece. We'll be going into February with Mosaic Crochet. But I just finished the last piece of it. And basically, a lot of people call things mosaic crochet, and it's really not mosaic crochet. Mosaic crochet is a specific technique, and there's hybrids out there. Does that make sense? I think I mentioned that in this week's newsletter that came out yesterday. There's hybrids out there. You're working through stitches and you're making different designs that are mosaic. And the original was Lily Chen's Mosaic Magic, which you guys will hear a lot about next week if you're a subscriber to the newsletter. But there's a lot of hybrids where people are going, chaining in between stitches so that the stitch that goes over the top is going over chain. I don't consider that true mosaic. I consider true mosaic when you're working and the fabric is solid and you're working either through the stitches or working on top of the stitches. Like when I talk about overlay mosaic crochet, I don't consider these hybrids where you have holes that you're putting, because it might be easier for some people to see where they need to put their stitches, but it's not quite what I would consider mosaic. After doing a lot of reading and research and talking to Lily a little bit about it on social media and stuff, what people are calling mosaic crochet really isn't necessarily mosaic crochet. Like the person today was talking about overlay crochet, which is a totally different technique. And I'll talk about that later on too, probably in this series, just because overlay crochet is a little bit different than what mosaic crochet is. And mosaic also mimics what you see in mosaics. Lily made the comment to me when I was chatting with her about it. Mosaic is a specific art form. When you see the crushed ceramics that make these things, it's a specific kind of technique. So to bring it into crochet, it's kind of hard to do, in my opinion. But the look of the stitches has to be kind of that, if that makes sense. Teresa says, I'm learning a new crochet technique this month and having fun with it. What are you learning, Teresa? Tell me what you're learning. I'd love to hear about it. But that's kind of how I'm approaching this learning year, is that I'm doing some research. I may not get every single title that's out there and every single person's opinion on things, but like I've said in the past, I consider Lily, because she was the first. She's the one who researched this. She's the one who created this mosaic crochet out there, that I really think listening to where she got her information and then also applying what she knows to what I'm seeing out there. That's why I consider things hybrids rather than saying it's a true mosaic. So there you go. So Teresa, brioche crochet. I heard somebody was playing around with that. I have to look that up and see what that's all about. That's cool though that you're learning brioche. I'm still playing with knitting brioche, so that is kind of it's fun. It's really fun. It's just I keep dropping stitches, and then when I drop stitches, I can't figure it out and I have to rip it out and do it again. So so I put it aside for a while. Oh, Teresa, definitely send me a picture of it. I'd love to see it. I would love to see it. Okay, so Linda said, Lily Chen is great. I have so many of her. She's fun to watch. And I've taken live classes with her, and she is amazing. She used me as a model one year in Portland when she was teaching a darts class on how to do crochet darts in clothing. And in fact, I have all that paperwork from that class. That was years ago. Gosh, it was early 2000s, probably around like 2006, 2007. But she's a kick in the pants. If you ever are in a position where she comes to your town to teach a class at a shop or something like that, take the class. Because Lily is so much fun as a teacher. So definitely do that. So yeah, Teresa, definitely send me a picture. And also, tell me where you're learning it from. Is it a book or is it somebody's website? I'd really love to know that too, so I can check it out and see what it is and how it works, and maybe I can do a little review of it on my my blog and my newsletter. So, but let's go into. I do have a finished project this week. I'm so excited. You guys have seen these last couple weeks, but I finally finished my socks. I have a pair of socks. I'm so excited. I did finish these. I think I finished them Saturday while I was watching the Montana State Bobcats lose the national championship. I was so upset, but at least I got a pair of socks out of it. So, but I'm so proud of them for being there for the first time in 37 years. So that was really awesome. So I finished my socks. I need to block them. Whenever I do an afterthought heel, you see how it kind of ripples a little. Once I block them, I can lay them flatter, or they'll fold really nice, and they tend to want to ripple a little bit when I even after blocking. But I like to have them nice and fresh. So I'm so excited. I'm so excited to have those. And then I don't know if those of you who follow me on social media know that I've started a new pair of socks. Same yarn company. I think I showed you the skein before I wound it. It's Roundtable Yarns. She no longer does dyeing, but this is another colorway I have of hers. This is my travel project because January is the month of doctor's appointments. Everything from physicals to I see my cancer doctor next week. I have an eye doctor appointment. I have an appointment with a orthopedic surgeon for my shoulder. I don't know that I'm having surgery. We're going to discuss what's going on with my shoulder. It's an old injury that I lifted a computer when I was working back in 1994, 95. And I did something to my rotator cuff. And when the day before I was supposed to have surgery, I think I told you guys this, I was called by my surgeon and said that I was pregnant with my son. So I put it off until right before we moved, and they gave me a cortisone shot, but now it's starting to bother me again. So tomorrow morning I have a doctor's appointment. But I always have travel projects that are always in my purse for months like this when I have doctor appointment after doctor appointment after doctor appointment and other appointments, because you guys know when you go to the doctor or the dentist or anywhere, you end up waiting. So you might as well have a project that you can work on. So I started it Monday. I had to bring my car in to have a tire fixed. So I started it and finished the cuff while I was there waiting for them to fix my tire. And then yesterday I had my physical for the year. And I did my 1.5 stripes. So it's not going very fast this time, but I've promised myself that I'm not going to work on it other than through doctor's appointments right now. So that's going to be just a travel project. So that's what I've done there. And then let me see if there's anything I want to talk about. Oh, yes, I need to show you guys this too, because I'm going to be ripping this out again. This is my sweater. I don't know if you guys are seeing the colors. I have my lighting a little different here. It's made me a little more orange for some reason, so I don't know if the color's right. But this is the sweater that I've been making for myself. This is the second start. I got through the color work. But you see how the bottom is curling? And I know part of it is because it's not flat on the needles, but because it's bunched because the needles are smaller than the actual width of the sweater, but it's bunching more than it should. I mean, even when I flatten it on my needles, it still wants to ripple. Have you guys ever had that problem with anything? I mean, even crochet does this to me sometimes. I know it's the cast on. That's the problem. So I'm going to rip it out. I'm going to do a different cast on than what she recommends. This is a crocheted cast on, which I absolutely love because it goes super fast. But she did it double, and I'm thinking that's the problem. I think it's because it's too bulky for the rest of the sweater based on the yarn that I'm using. And then maybe I did it a little too loose. So I am going to do it instead of doing it double. I'm going to try it single and do a couple rounds just to see if that's going to do it. And if that doesn't do it, I'm just going to do a regular stretchy cast on to start this. I just don't like this rippling, but I really like it. The teal color work turned out really cool in there. You can see that it's got some gradient in there in that teal. This is that really hot pink that I showed you a while ago. And it's a teal. This is Fiber Spates yarn pink. And then the teal gradient is the Shopple wool. It's like the Zauberball, but in a DK weight instead. So yeah, I'm gonna rip that out. I was knitting on it last night as I was watching a TV show with my husband, and I kept knitting because I needed to do something with my hands. But yeah, I love the colors. I'm really pleased with how the colors turned out. I'm hoping you guys are seeing it more true to color. Maybe when I bring it closer, it looks a little bit, it's still not quite that bright magenta pink. But you can get an idea of what the blues look like. The sweater I'm making is called the Sherwood Sweater by Kimberly McAlinden. Oh, I do have my iPad here. I can show you what the sweater is supposed to be. Let me bring up the pattern here. Let me see if I got a good here. I'm gonna make it bigger so you guys can see the actual sweater. It's called the Sherwood Sweater, and that's what the sweater will look like when it's done. It is really something that I'm really not wanting to rip out. I mean, I love how the color worked out. Let's see. Oh, Teresa, that happens to you too. Yeah. I switched the cast on. I had to do that on my last, yeah, I'm thinking that's what's going to happen. Pretty design. Thank you. Thank you guys for the comments. It was really hard for me to decide. Originally, I wanted to do a royal blue sweater with like either white or a pink bottom. But then when I saw this magenta pink, I was like, okay, I don't have any sweaters in that color. And that's a good color for me. So that's why I did it. Jean, good morning. It's good to see you here. I'm glad you're here. Yes, that's going to be really hard to frog it. I've already frogged it. Well, this will be the third time because the first time I did it, the cast on was way too loose. And the second time I did it is I twisted the cast on and my sweater was twisted. So this is the third frog. So that's why I'm changing the cast on. I can't do it. It's just too something I'll have to play with later on. It looks like cranberry and teal blues. That's exactly what it is supposed to be. Well, no, it's supposed to be more magenta. The color is called Mighty Magenta, I think, or here, let me see. It's called Mixed Magentas. It's I don't know, the lighting in here is really, really bad, guys. But this is the company. It's Fiber Spates Vivacious DK. You can kind of see here how it's got some, like the magenta goes into a purpley magenta, and then it goes into a true magenta. So it's kind of a tonal. So I'm really excited to work on it again. But I decided I'm going to rip it out and I'm going to not think about it for about a week or maybe 2 weeks and then try it again because it's going to be hard to deal with. Yes, it is a pretty sweater. Kimberly McAlinden is someone I've known for a long time. She used to come to the Crochet Guild of America. And well, when the Crochet Guild of America and the Knitting Guild of America used to have their joint events. She's a knitter. She does crochet, not that she doesn't crochet, but she's mostly a knitter. And she used to come and teach and do events at the show when we were a combined event. And so I've known her for a long time. So when I saw the sweater, I said, I have to make it because first of all, it's V-neck, which looks so much better on me. And then it's her pattern, and I love her work, so I had to do it. So I'm just gonna rip it out later, and then I'm just gonna let it sit for a week or two, and then I'm gonna cast on again. I do have to get started on my first project of the year. I was supposed to get it started on Monday, and I had a very interesting day. I won't go into what happened. It's nothing bad. It was just a very interesting day with someone I met somewhere that just it just kind of rattled me. She was going through a really hard time, and I ended up spending time with her. So this didn't get started, but it's going to get started either tonight or tomorrow morning. So I'm going to be working on that as well. So it's time to put crochet on the hook. I put it aside for a little bit just because I needed to have a break from all the designing I did. I mean, I was pumping out patterns at the end of the year just to get them done so that they were ready to go for the pattern club. So yeah. And then also, guys, just as a reminder, the pattern club the pattern club is now closed until July. So if you haven't signed up for the pattern club, you're gonna have to wait till July when I change things around a little bit and add some features this is kind of, I'm really excited with the group we've got. It's excited people who've already downloaded the pattern. Today and this afternoon, we're having our first Zoom call, so I'm very excited about that. And we're going to talk more about that. But when I reopen the pattern club, it's going to have more features and different pricing. And all of you who already are in the pattern club are going to have some special perks and things like that. So I'll talk more about those as it progresses. But right now, just know you can't subscribe to the pattern club, but you can. Let me go back here, and you can still join the felted bag crochet along. I have the bag right here. Forgot to bring it to my desk. This is the bag we're making. I've already got my yarn picked out. It's going to be leftovers from all the Christmas stockings that I made. Monday, the 17th is when we start. So I am going to actually shut down registration for the felted bag crochet along. I was going to leave it open on Monday, but I decided I'm going to shut it down on Sunday because I need to have time to make sure I have everybody who registered and get the pattern to them first thing Monday morning. It'd probably be around 10 a.m. And then we'll have a Zoom call at 3 a.m. or 3 p.m. Pacific. So 4 Mountain, 5 Central, 6 Eastern time. It will be recorded. So if you can't make it, it will be recorded, and I'll be posting it for everybody who is part of the crochet along. Now, I'm not going to have a forum this time around because of the way I've got the forum going for the pattern club. So if you have questions in between, when I do the Zoom call, I'll have ways for you to talk to each other and things like that, possibly. I'm still trying to figure out exactly what I want to do because the pattern club is set up in such a way, and I have to change what's going on in the pattern club, and I'm afraid it's going to affect the crochet along. So I don't want to, I want to have it separate kind of thing. So I'm working on that part, but it's still free. You're going to get 3 Zoom calls on each Monday through the end of the month. There's no prizes for this. It's just a fun crochet along. Hopefully you'll learn something, and you will also, once the pattern has been, because part of what we're doing with this pattern, it's an old pattern of mine, and I've already been tech edited and charted, but I need more eyes on it just to make sure it's all going to work out properly. And then I'm going to have it laid out and rephotographed with the original pattern that or the original one, and the one I'm going to be doing in the crochet along, because I'm going to be doing a striped one that's all different colors. So I'm going to have both photographed together and then release the pattern. So everybody who is doing the crochet along is going to get the final pattern for free. So this is a really great way to get a final pattern for free. and learn from me directly. So if you haven't registered, make sure you register for that also. Again, that's going to end on Sunday. Probably, I'm going to say sometime in the afternoon on Sunday. I can't give you a time right now. So you like it? Yeah, I like the cable cast on too. I also like the German cast on, twist cast on. So that's another one. You've ordered your yarn for the crochet along. Yay, cool. I'm so excited. I should mention too, I think I've mentioned this before to you guys. I am going to do my next crochet along. I think it's going to be a mystery. I already know what the project is. I can't decide if it's going to be a mystery or if it's not. But it's going to probably start in August or September. It's going to be tied in with the reboot of the Pattern Club. So just so you guys know, I haven't decided if it's going to be a mystery or everybody's going to know about it. It's kind of crochet along. So anyway, I mentioned to you guys earlier, or I put it in the chat too, that today's going to be a little shortened because I have a class at 10 a.m., a Zoom class that I'm taking. So, but I wanted, before I let you guys go, I wanted to see if anybody had any questions for me, comments, want to talk about something. I have another maybe like 10 or 15 minutes before I have to go because I have to get set up for the class. Let's see. For those of you who are wondering, we're using 100% worsted wool, worsted weight wool. You need 660 yards. I think I put that in the Zoom information sheet when you register. It has to be 100% wool, cannot be superwash because we're going to be felting, and superwash prevents felting. So make sure you do that. You need 660 yards. I used Cascade 220 for that one, and I did 3 different colors. For the one I'm going to be doing along with you guys in class, for the crochet along is going to be Wool of the Andes from Knit Picks or We Crochet, whoever you order from. They're both the same company, but they don't label them anymore like Knit Picks used to. And that's 100% wool as well, worsted weight, and I'm going to stripe it. So make sure you guys do that. If you're interested, a mystery would be fun. I'm thinking, I'm leaning toward mystery because it's not a shawl. It's not a shawl, what I'm planning to do. So I'm kind of thinking it might be fun to have something that's not a shawl as a mystery. Linda's got Peyton's on sale at Joann's. Peyton's is great wool. I've used it for felting before. In fact, the original bag that I did prior to this size, I made a big one, a big tote bag, and I used the Peyton's chunky non-superwash wool, and it was great to work with. You're starting on the first shawl this weekend. Yay! I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Let's see. Laura said, I picked up 5 colors of Cascade 220 for kits in the shop. Super excited. Oh, cool. That'll be awesome. Cool. So I love Cascade 220. I mean, I know there's a lot of people who love and hate Cascade yarns, but Cascade is a local to me company. When I lived on the other side of the state, they were, oh gosh, less than an hour away. And I never visited the warehouse, but when I worked at my local yarn shop, the owner used to come all the time to talk with my shop owner, about new yarns and projects that they did together and stuff like that. So I've always loved Cascade yarns. I know they can be a little more on the expensive side for some of their yarns, but Cascade 220 is actually very, very, in my opinion, price point friendly in most cases. So all of their 220 line, the superwash one, their numbered line, I should say. They're 128, which is a little bit bulkier. I think it's like a bulky yarn, and then they have 128 superwash, and they have 220 superwash, and they have a sock yarn that's superwash and all sorts of stuff. So I love Cascade yarns. So, but I know there's a lot of controversy out there about Cascade. So but I still like to tout them. So anyway, anybody else have anything they want to chat about or questions for me? Today it feels like my voice is starting to come back after being so dry for several weeks. I've been running a humidifier in my house almost 24/7, and it seems like it's helped. My voice feels so much better today talking to you guys. Oh, cool, Teresa. Thank you. I just saw that you said you'll send me an email. Perfect. Okay, I'll be looking for that after class. Anybody else? Questions? Because now I'll go ahead and do my closing, and then next week I hope to have more for you guys. Like I said, I'm going to be starting to work on that project. I'm hoping to do some more video next week that I'll talk about. I'm hoping, because I have less doctor's appointments next week. This week has been, I can't even tell you. Let's see. All of the yarn shops except one have Cascade 220. Superwash, of course they do. The one that has wool was closed until, and they didn't have many colors. Yeah. Like I said, superwash is the big thing these days. Felting is not as popular as it used to be. If you want to order Cascade 220 online, if you don't mind ordering online, I highly recommend Webs. It's yarn.com. I'll put it in the comments. I think they carry almost every color, if I'm not mistaken, or close to every color. It's a wide range they carry. They do, like, one of the colors, I think it's the middle color. I can't remember if it's the middle color or the darkest color in my bag. I can't remember. Is now discontinued. But the other two are still available. But they have something that's close to that color that you could, if you wanted to use similar colors, you could still make a gradient similar to this. They change their colors all the time. Yes. Let's see. Lovecrafts does have it too. I forgot. Lovecrafts does carry it as well. So if you're looking for 220, because I know most shops do carry their superwash, but I love the full-on wool. I mean, it's got still a little bit of the lanolin in it, and it feels really nice on your hands and stuff. And I just saw Cody Cowgirl Creates is here. Good morning. I'm excited to see what I do with Mosaic. I'm actually not designing with it in the series, but I will be. I already have a project in mind, and it's actually partially drawn out. So it'll be coming later this year, probably. Or the pattern probably won't be released till next year, because I'm releasing 18 patterns this year. I think that's enough for the year. But I'll be doing sneak peeks on social media, and I'll show you guys here on the lives too. So make sure you check those out. But I'm glad you're here. Let's see. Anybody else have any questions before I start my closing? Like I said, I have to go a little early, so I hope to see those of you who have registered for the Pattern Club. I hope to see all of you this afternoon, or it's this afternoon for me. It'll be this evening for most of you, probably. Coastal Carolina yarns. And I'm not really an online shop, mainly in person, but she'll ship though. That's good. I mean, a lot of shops do that. My local yarn shop that I used to work at didn't have an online shop until I started working for her. And even that, people still call her and ask about different yards and from all over the country. So you're not alone in that. So awesome. Okay, guys, I'm going to start my closing remarks because I do have to be off in about 5 minutes, but I'll come back and check for comments. So if you have any other questions, go ahead and put them in chat. Thanks for watching. all the way through the video. If you've been watching for the first time, don't forget to go check out my website at KarenWhooley.com. And while you're there, make sure you subscribe to my newsletter. Here's a direct link to the newsletter subscription. You get a free pattern right up front. And I should mention that next, on the 25th, not next week, the following week, I will have a new pattern released on the 25th. So if you're on the newsletter, you automatically get 25% off that pattern. So make sure you subscribe to the newsletter. Also, you'll get first the free pattern of the year, which is Southwest Spice. I'm so used to saying Pache that I need to remember it's Southwest Spice. And you'll always get 25% off all new releases, and you'll be the first to know about everything new that's coming to the shop and to what I'm doing. So make sure you're on the newsletter. If you're not watching on YouTube, check out my YouTube channel. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up button. Both of those will help with the algorithm, so more people will see my videos, see when I go live, things like that. So I'd really appreciate it if you do both of those things for me. And if you're not watching on YouTube, you're probably watching on Rumble. Rumble is another video streaming platform that I upload to after the fact because I cannot live stream right now there. However, it is growing faster than YouTube, which is interesting. So make sure you check that out as well, and make sure you subscribe when you're there as well. I'd really appreciate it. And last but not least, I'm most active on Instagram. So make sure you check out Instagram at Karen Whooley. And no space in my name, make sure you do that. Because I think there's a couple other Karen Whooleys out there that might have spaces or characters in between. So make sure all together, Karen Whooley is where I'm at. So I see you guys are already chatting again. So you're in the chat room. So let's see. Linda says, I'll see you tonight. Okay, cool. So Pattern Club people, don't forget, there's a Zoom call tonight. Laura says, I carry Barocco, Universal too. Bigfoot Yarns, Wonderland. And Bigfoot's is another Washington State company. Hoping to make the call tonight. Awesome. Laura I'm so glad you did though, Laura. Honestly, I'm really glad you did. And yes, me too. I appreciate that too. I appreciate that there is an LYS shop here. And I'm so glad that we were able to connect, Laura. So let me know if there's anything else you need too. So, or if you have questions with the people doing the crochet along in your shop and things like that. So anyway, I'm going to sign off. Hope you guys have a great week, a great weekend. I'll see you next Wednesday at 9 a.m. Pacific time. And if you have any questions in the meantime, you guys know where to find me. So I'll talk to you later. Have a great week. See you soon.